Welcome back to Character Select. We're going back in.
Court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything you saw on the night of December 24th.
Right. Leave it to me.
Please, Larry, don't mess this one up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Von Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I just hope Edgeworth is right about this being her big break.
That night, I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something, and I found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental dock, that shut dock. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home.
Okay. Interesting.
That was an unusually vague testimony, even for this court. In any case, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. Well, we've come this far. There's no way to go but forward, Nick.
Oh, no. What is that shirt he's wearing?
Is there anything about this that seems weird?
Yeah.
What?
Well, the first one is he left home after the first gunshot. You already heard two. That one. Maybe.
So, more importantly, is this word right here?
Yeah, this one's the most dubious.
Because everybody else is saying two. Alright, so we need to find out what time it was.
Something wrong, Mr. Wright.
There were so many things wrong, I don't know where to begin. Well, okay. First of all, what time is it?
Oh, it was after 11 when I went out in the boat. By that time, everyone had gone home for the night. So I waited until the coast was clear, so to speak.
And why were you out in a boat at such a late hour?
Yeah, just press them on everything.
Looking for something?
Yeah.
Mr. Butts, what is it you were looking for?
What the witness was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy. That's surprisingly close to the truth, in a sense. This is all irrelevant. Let's get it over with.
Press.
Around what time was that?
Well, let's see.
I figure I was searching about an hour. So I guess it's around 12.
Yeah.
You're not sure?
Hey, don't give me that face. I'm not some sort of human sundial, okay?
People use watches these days, Larry. Where did the sound come from?
Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know?
Did you look at the lake?
Yeah, I looked.
Wasn't there a boat on the lake?
Order. Well, Mr. Butts?
Well. Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not.
Oh, okay, no problem. That's just the most important part of this case. So you only heard one bang, correct?
Yeah.
Huh. This is pretty wishy-washy testimony. Alright, so yeah, that's the key.
Okay. So we need to find out what to present anywhere. So I think... Yeah.
This is the best one. Wait a sec, Larry.
What?
You only heard one bang? You're sure?
That's what I said.
But Miss Lotta Hart testified yesterday that she heard 2 bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard 2 gunshots that night.
Huh?
Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said?
Nick, please.
Huh?
You know, something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. So you gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay?
Mr. Box.
What?
You only heard 1 gunshot. Are you sure?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure.
Oh, Larry. Not sure? How could you not be sure?
Yeah, well, I, might have missed the other gunshot. I was, listening to something else.
Something else?
My radio, dude, with my headphones.
What?
Order. And stop that booing. Mr. Butts, you were listening to the radio with your headphones.
Yeah, so what? That's not a crime. I listen to my radio. Everyone listens to radio. What's the big deal?
Mr. Von Karma, your opinion.
Waste of time. I do not accept this witness nor his shoddy testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue to testify? Well, we have to continue because this is literally the only thing we've got.
Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony. Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost.
Very well, Mr. Butts. Please give your testimony and be sure to include details like your radio.
Right, leave it to me.
So here's the thing. The reason that you do pre-trial stuff and prep witnesses is so that they don't have this kind of vague, wishy-washy bullshit nonsense. And honestly, he's actually being honest about his answers. I don't know if I heard a second gunshot because I wasn't really paying attention. I know I heard the first.
Yeah, but that wasn't in his testimony.
Yeah. I wouldn't if there were any other way out of this, believe me.
This is why witness testimony is actually, like, utter garbage.
Yeah.
Because people just don't, like, pay attention.
Remember shit.
And that's
Details are fungible is the word that we're looking for.
Yeah.
I love that word.
It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud, like. I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it, too.
Okay.
You were listening to your radio at a high volume.
Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio at bass? Isn't this a free country?
I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drum beat from the radio.
True enough. It is difficult to believe that this testimony.
Wait, Your Honor. The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot.
Excuse me? DJ?
I'm going to stab you, Your Honor. An announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is, when he heard the sound, no music was playing. DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor.
Very well, Mr. Wright.
I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. I already know what the most important thing is here.
Yeah.
What did she say? Oop.
Oh.
Clicked out of the game, sorry. Mr. Wright.
Oh, that's you.
Please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what a radio DJ said do us?
Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see one reason why we should care. We should care.
We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? Well, how do we know if you don't ask, huh?
Fine. Very well. Mr. Bott, please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when he heard the gunshot?
Oh! Okay! That's a problem.
That would be just before 12.
Just after midnight means that it's not almost Christmas, it's actually Christmas.
Yeah.
Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct?
Huh? What's with the face? You look scary, dude. If you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy.
Is something the matter, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, hey, it's almost Christmas when he heard the gunshot.
Indeed. And?
Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve.
That would seem to be the case, yes.
But that contradicts the two testimonies we've heard so far, Your Honor. Both Miss Hart and the old man said it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor.
Order. What does this mean? Two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight? However, this witness says he's heard a gunshot before midnight.
Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious.
What?
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butts' claim he heard the gunshot? He's right.
Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight.
We have a gun that's fired 3 times.
That doesn't mean anything. Doesn't tell us when it was fired.
We have... Oh, the blank photograph!
Where is that? Ha 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 ha! Look at this photograph. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24, 11:50 p.m.
Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture.
Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It's why this photograph exists at all.
What do you mean?
Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises.
Aha!
Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That's why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve.
Indeed, it would seem that this is the case. Then, where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken?
Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were 2 sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them.
Why would this be?
Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises.
Yes.
There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera.
Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Clear.
Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud bang at 11:50 p.m. was indeed a gunshot?
Do we have any? 11:50 before. Hang on. Let me.
So none of the stuff on this page is helpful because it relates to DL6.
Yeah. So the only thing we have prior to 11:50 is the pistol that fired 3 times, but that doesn't prove it. Does it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay.
This is my evidence.
The murder weapon?
Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight.
Order. That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering what exactly did happen that night on the lake.
Exactly. If this is true, then there were 2 sets of gunshots, separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you? Why? Uh-oh, I'd better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes? Yeah! What's wrong, Nick? I have it! Huh? Remember the case with the Steel Samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya, yes? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch and I'm gonna run with it. Right, I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Wright.
The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case.
What do you mean, Mr. Wright?
So you finally realized the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, 1 boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be that other man on that boat.
I admit, it is hard to imagine any other possibility.
Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 15 minutes past 12.
But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the two men on the boat are. Who are they?
Shit. Murder and Hammond. Edgeworth and the murderer. Edgeworth and Hammond. Shit.
So, think about it logically. Was Edgeworth on the boat in the lake?
Yeah, we saw him.
Yeah. So, the bottom two answers have to be true. Or are the only two that can be true. If we know that Edgeworth didn't kill Hammond, who was on the boat? Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth.
What? Are you serious?
Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place.
I'm not sure what to make of all this.
Ludicrous.
Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then.
The murderer's name? Right, it's...
I don't know.
Actually, I don't know the murderer's name.
You don't know?
Ah, again you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond.
The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats in the lake then.
Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of this crime was not on a boat?
What? Well then, where did the murder take place? This is moving way too quickly for me to understand what's going on.
Show the judge where the murder took place. So, Edgeworth is being set up, is basically what you need to know. Somebody's trying to make him look like a murderer.
Yeah. It has to be the shack, right?
Correct. Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing him. Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night he was out on the lake in a boat, searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned the boat?
The boat shop? I was surprised as the judge, actually, because I'm behind on this case, apparently. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning.
Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning, and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. So this is called, like in Dual Destiny, they actually come up with a name for this. It's called Revisualization. And it's taking one particular fact,
and
turning it around, and realizing that the entire case is different as a result of that one fact being different. Saying that it wasn't Hammond on the boat with Edgeworth completely changes what happened that night. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. This is around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat, and he became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake.
Then, who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright?
It was the caretaker.
Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone?
Details. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice.
To create a witness.
I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor.
Create a witness?
The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look out at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him.
I see. Someone looking from that edge of the lake. It would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other.
The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body, and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake.
Just bailiff. Bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly.
I think we convinced him.
Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant Miles Edgeworth a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said? Well, why did you go to the lake that night?
What Wright has said is mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me.
Something important?
I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir!
Oh,
that's
me.
you.
Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I should remain quiet.
The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either.
What?
What should I do?
Find him, quickly. We cannot allow him to get away.
Innocent people don't run, usually.
Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared.
Search warrant has already been issued.
It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well, court is adjourned. I want him.
Oof. That was a rough and interesting day, wasn't it?
That's less tense than yesterday.
Yay, Nick, you did it! Yeah, well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? No. There's so little time left. I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but... I can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? Memory of a murder.
What?
Next time on Character Select, we got 1 day to go. And
Oh, holy shit.
And let me just say, it's not gonna be terribly straightforward. However, after this case, there is one more case. It's Rise from the Ashes, and God, if you think this is confusing, wait until we get to that one. Jesus. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure to click that like button down below if you liked it, and space! You did good today. You think you know what happened now?
No?